So now we're going to move on to putting on our sleeves. The same way we did our muslin is the same way we're going to do our actual fabric. A couple of things you want to remember. You look for your slashes. The 2 slashes go towards the back. The 1 slash goes toward the front. So you want to keep those in mind when you're putting together your sleeves. You also want to make sure you baste first, then sew next. Once you're done sewing, you can go in using the neatening stitch, and you can just go in and very carefully run your zigzag stitch around the armhole. I would recommend doing them separately first. So doing your neatening stitch around them separately and then combining them, because it might be a little tricky once you actually insert it in the armhole to do that neatening stitch, especially when it's around a curve. So if you feel more comfortable, I would suggest just going in and while they're separate, doing that zigzag stitch around the armholes and then inserting it, and that way it's a little bit neater for you. So I'm going to insert my I'm going to place my sleeves in the armholes, and then we're going to move to the facing. So right now you can focus on putting your sleeves in the armholes, basting it, neatening up the seams in there. I want you to also go in and connect your bodice to your skirt the same exact way we did it for the muslin is the same exact way we do it for the actual dress. You want to make sure that you are lining up those seams, you're pinning it, and you're basting it. And then you're going to run it through the machine, and then we're going to come back so we can do our facing, and also I can show you how to put in your zipper and to hem and a couple of other things. So I just wanted to give a brief tutorial on how you actually sew in an inset sleeve. So remember I said we go in and we baste our sleeve all around. So this is what the sleeve looks like. And I've basically basted it all around, making sure that I match my seams up in the inside. So I placed the sleeve on the wrong side under my machine so that you're like receiving the actual curve. So you'll see like even some of it is covering the machine a little bit. I start off at and there's a pin in this because I had to make sure that both my seams are flat. So I go at the underarm and I start right at the underarm. So I place my needle right under the underarm, get that thread out of there. I drop my needle, and my measurements are 5/8, so I have to make sure that I'm coming in at 5/8. I have an actual ruler on my sewing machine that I follow. Most sewing machines do come with that ruler, and the better you become, the more easier it is to follow. But if you're not comfortable with following that ruler just yet because you're still trying to handle your machine, I would say baste it as close to the actual measurement as possible and then just follow along that line. So I essentially just maneuver my sleeve around that curve. Making sure I adhere to the measurement and just rounding those circles, the circle of the sleeve as I go. Anytime you're coming around a curve, you want to make sure you take your time. It's not the same as a straight stitch, so you want to make sure you take your time and move with the curve while also using your fingers to sort of flatten out the area so that it's easier to come around that curve. And you keep going until you land back at that underarm seam. And like you do in all your stitches, you use the back stitch to lock it in and then you raise your sewing machine. Move it out the way a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have to now get rid of some of this excess, get rid of some of these basting threads. So I just go in and pull out the basting threads. Any excess machine threads. For me, I can neaten my seams after, but I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like once you've removed the basting from your sleeve. Clip off all those excess threads. You can also pull out those tailor's tacks. So once you removed all the basting stitch from around your sleeve, and now you have your final stitches, what you want to do is take a pair of scissors. And then you're going to go in and gently, anytime we're sewing on a curve, we always have to make sure that we alleviate some of the tautness that comes when you have a curved stitch. So you always have to go in and very gently snip those curved edges so that you can release some of the sleeve. So it allows it to lay a little bit flatter and it's not bunching. So you'd have to go in around the armhole and go in as deep as you feel comfortable with. Again, the key is to make sure you don't actually cut into the seam itself, because then you have another issue in your hands. You have a hole now. So you just gently go around and you clip all around the sleeve area. Nice, gentle clips. And that's going to free up the sleeve a little bit, and I can show you the difference. See how it's taut here a little bit and how more relaxed it is here. So this is no clip, clip. So you can see it's actually just a little bit longer even, because you sort of released some of the tautness that is in the sleeve. Once you're done, you flip it to the other side. See what your sleeve looks like. Gonna take out some of those clips. Make sure those seams match up. And when you're pressing it, the best thing you can use is this tailoring ham, and it is ideal for pressing the sleeve. So you can either lay it on this side or this side, and you just put the sleeve right underneath it, and it alleviates some of the puckering that can be at the top of your sleeve. So that's what you want to do. You want to take your tailor's ham. So you have a seam roll and you have a tailor's ham. This is really what the tailor's ham is for, to sort of like flatten out that seam there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Videos are uploaded weekly covering dressmaking, fashion, lectures, and more.